The Undertaker, The Rock, and John Cena facing the Shield after being previous victims of the Shield in the months leading up to WrestleMania 30. That would be a huge six-man tag team match, but again, that takes away the possibility of having The Undertaker face The Rock or John Cena face The Undertaker for The Undertaker streak at WrestleMania. Those singles matches would be out, and we'd have to wait another year to see those matches possibly happen at WrestleMania's 31 or even 32. To me, it would have been a great match, but then you think about everything that we would lose out on as wrestling fans, so that kind of puts that one out as well. So, the point being, we're here with a lot more questions than we have answers, and hopefully by January or February, things will become more clear for WrestleMania 30 when it relates to the Shield and what they're going to be doing at this event. I hope they don't put the Shield in the match at WrestleMania and just have them lose to an upcoming threesome that are trying to make a name for themselves. I hope they don't have them lose to someone like the Wyatt family or something like that. I know the Wyatt family have made quite the impression since arriving on the scene in the WWE, but I mean, how do you make an impression by facing Daniel Bryan in a 3-on-1 handicap match? The only thing you can really do at TLC is decimate Daniel Bryan, with Daniel Bryan providing them with a little bit of opposition, which is obviously what he's going to do up until the time that he loses this match. Obviously, he will lose because of Bray Wyatt applying the Abigail's Kiss to Daniel Bryan, and one of the Shield members will pin them. Obviously, the member of the Wyatt family that will pin Daniel Bryan will be Bray Wyatt, but I mean, how do you make an impression at the expense of one opponent as opposed to three opponents going up against one? And how do you make an impression with CM Punk facing the three members of the Shield? In my opinion, this is just a desperate attempt for WWE to give people like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk something to do at a pay-per-view to once again get over and to put the Shield and the Wyatt family over. If anything, the Wyatts and the Shield are not going to benefit from this, and if Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are fortunate enough to knock off these threesomes in 3-on-1 handicap matches at TLC, they'll be the ones that get over, and they'll put over the Shield and the Wyatt family as teams that lost to far more experienced wrestlers, which undoubtedly Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are when you talk about years of experience over the Wyatts and the Shield, who have been very impressive as threesome teams. That's the thing about the Shield and the Wyatts that you have to admire. They are impressive as threesome teams. But when it comes to singles competition, it seems as if they don't have that kind of a rhythm as they do when they're a threesome team. They were never defeated as a threesome team for months, and the Wyatts have never been defeated since arriving in the WWE. I really hope that something prominent is done in the futures of the Wyatts and the Shield, because to me, having them arrive and have so much momentum only to be killed off is completely beneficiary to the Shield and the Wyatts, and especially the fans of the Wyatts and the Shield, because there are those fans out there that do support the Wyatts and the Shield and everything that they do. I mean, those gimmicks, I will admit to you, are pretty catchy. They stand out more so than the gimmick of a Daniel Bryan and a CM Punk right now, because the days of CM Punk winning the WWE Championship and holding it for 434 days, and Daniel Bryan's yes and no gimmick are pretty much old things that happened in the WWE years ago. To me, the novelty has really worn off. The yes and the no thing for Daniel Bryan, the beard thing, is kind of getting old, and CM Punk winning the WWE title and defeating every opposition that was put in front of him, holding it for 434 days, allowing he was going to be champion until at least 2018. That will get him up to the point where he would surpass the reign of Bruno Sammartino, who held the WWF Championship for Vince McMahon Sr. for over 12 years. That's 4,000 days if you were to combine all of his reigns as champion. In my opinion, they were just disrespecting Bruno Sammartino by having CM Punk compare himself to one of the all-time greats. But I do agree with what Paul Heyman said in a promo where he was putting over CM Punk as one of the greatest champions of all time. He said that Bruno Sammartino belonged in the Hall of Fame, and earlier this year he finally was inducted in an incredible class of individuals into the WWE Hall of Fame, joining the likes of Booker T, Trish Stratus, and Mick Foley in an incredible class of Hall of Fame inductees, perhaps the greatest class of Hall of Fame inductees since the inception of the Hall of Fame in 1993, with no disrespect being thrown the way of Andre the Giant, who was the inaugural inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, to say that you're one of the few, less than 100 individuals who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, that is an incredible honor, and I think that Bruno Sammartino should have no regrets after being inducted into the Hall of Fame earlier this year, even though he was shown an incredible amount of disrespect by the likes of CM Punk, who is making an incredible name for himself now. He'll take on the Shield in the 3-on-1 handicap match, and of course Daniel Bryan will do the same. against the Wyatt family, and if anything, this match is going to put over Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, who need to have something prominent going for them heading into WrestleMania. I mean, CM Punk's not going to go as far as to challenge The Undertaker again. Daniel Bryan is not going to challenge for the WWE World Championship unless he wins the Royal Rumble, and that's one of the biggest reasons why one of my initial predictions to win the 2014 Royal Rumble is either Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, and more so to Daniel Bryan than what CM Punk is a prediction of mine to win the Royal Rumble, because they need something prominent to happen for them. I don't see a member of the Wyatts or the Shield winning the Royal Rumble, and if that happens at the 2014 Royal Rumble, I'm going to be more surprised than an average everyday wrestling fan that a member of the Shield or the Wyatts won the Royal Rumble, because to me, someone like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk needs to win this Royal Rumble over a member of the Shield or the Wyatts, and I know there are wrestling fans out there who believe that maybe Bray Wyatt has a chance of winning the Royal Rumble, but to me, someone like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, who have done nothing since the CM Punk Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam, or since Daniel Bryan lost his chance at the WWE Championship against John Cena after having that briefcase cashed in by Randy Orton a few moments after he defeated John Cena in arguably the greatest performance and match of Daniel Bryan's professional wrestling career, after wrestling for over 10 years on the independent circuit in virtually every part of the world. In my opinion, at SummerSlam, you should have given that championship to Daniel Bryan, so that's why I choose Daniel Bryan over CM Punk out of my two initial predictions for the Royal Rumble, because he needs something to happen for him. Now, there's a huge rumor that Daniel Bryan may join the Wyatt family, because the Wyatt family have offered Daniel Bryan the opportunity to join the Wyatts, and obviously what would be derived from that, if Daniel Bryan going along with his long beard like the members of the Wyatts have, obviously what would be derived from that is Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk in a one-on-one match to promote the fact that Daniel Bryan has turned coat and joined forces with the Wyatts, and of course he would obviously feud with CM Punk. I would enjoy Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, but the issue that I have with that is it's not for a major championship or who to determine who should be the number one contender for the championship. In my opinion, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk matches have been that good from the past. They should be for something impressive, more so than just being one-on-one matches distributed on Raw and SmackDown probably 2 weeks before a pay-per-view. I think the Shield should be in a better position than what they are, and hopefully if they knock off Daniel Bryan and CM Punk in these individual matches, the Shield and the Wyatts are going to be rewarded, because if the Shields and the Wyatts aren't rewarded for the performances at the up-and-coming TLC pay-per-view, then having the Shields and the Wyatt promoted as much as what they've been promoted over the past couple of months pretty much is unbeneficiary to the WWE's tag team division, really unbeneficiary to the WWE tag team division, and it's very unbeneficiary to the fans of professional wrestling and the fans of the Wyatts and the Shield, because believe it or not, the Shields and the Wyatts do have a fan base out there, and they have been talked about probably more than any other team within the tag team division. I mean, we have to face facts, and the facts are that tag team wrestling will never get back to the point that it was in the 1980s or 1990s. I mean, the IRSs and the Ted DiBiase's of the world, the Mega Powers of the world, the Strike Forces of the world, the Legion of the Dooms, the Demolitions, the Natural Disasters, the Killer Bees. I can name hundreds of teams that have kind of come and gone in the WWE. I mean, no other team will get the tag team division to the level that those teams did in the years prior to them having an opportunity to compete in the WWE. So if anything, they should be trying to reestablish that credibility that tag team wrestling once had, and I think the WWE could do that with teams like the Wyatts and the Shield. It's just they're not giving them a break. Yes, some people will look at the Shield as a team that held the tag team titles for the last 6 months, and it was time to change up the tag team division. Some idiot out there will say, well, obviously 2 months is sufficient enough to have a team as tag team champions. Every 2 months we should have new tag team champions. What kind of fucking idiot makes that assumption? Every 2 months we should have new tag team champions. That doesn't even give a team enough time to build up credibility in the tag team division. You need to have a tag team dominate for at least 8 months as tag team champions if you want to build up credibility in the division. You want to make it unpredictable as to who's going to defeat this team when they finally fucking lose. Not have new tag team champions every 2 months. The same thing can be said about the WWE title and the Intercontinental title. The next thing idiots are going to be saying is the fact that they're going to unify the WWE and World titles and have the World title be the title that represents the WWE. That's not going to happen, even though they're describing this match between Randy Orton and John Cena as a World Championship unification match. Obviously the title that will stand out the most is the WWE Championship, because you're not going to get rid of a title that has the name of your organization attached to it, and it's been that way for years. To say they're going to unify the WWE and World titles and have the World title be the outstanding title is the assumption of a fucking idiot. And the same thing can be said about Shawn Michaels winning the championship from 1996, March 31st of 1996 till November 17th of that year. He held the championship for 8 months. If you were going to take the title off of Shawn Michaels within 2 months, do you honestly think Shawn Michaels would be the greatest of all time today, the superstar that he is now, and what he's described as being, as many wrestling fans have put him over, and even Triple H himself? No, because you need to have a time for those wrestlers to build up credibility as champion. But because Shawn Michaels had that belt for 8 months, he was able to do it. And if the Shield would have held those tag team titles longer than what they had them, they would have built up the credibility that they need. And now we're in a position now where the directions of the Shields and the Wyatts are very uncertain, and that's unfortunate because they were brought in with so much momentum. Obviously, out of the two teams, the Wyatts now have more momentum on their shoulders than what the Shield do. But in time, if the WWE do it right and they hype up the Shield more so than what they've been hyped up over the past month ever since losing the momentum they once had, then the Shield can get back on that road to success. And I see them getting back on that road to success if WWE Creative have enough hope and faith in them to represent the tag team division. I think you have incredible teams in the WWE. Don't take anything out of context that I've said about these teams in the WWE's tag team division, because I think the WWE have far more impressive teams than they had 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree back in 2004, I mean, they were a team that weren't going to do anything for the tag team division. Chad and James Dick are another team that would have done nothing for the tag team division. Let's see what other teams you had. Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio, even though they're legends in the WWE, I mean, they would have never done anything for the tag team division. I mean, Kane and Booker T would have done nothing. I mean, they weren't going to do as much as what Harlem Heat did for World Championship Wrestling. You just didn't have the teams to represent the tag team division. But now you have teams that have consistent gimmicks that kind of work together sufficiently, and you can put over the tag team division in a way that you couldn't 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, if you go back to years like 2004, 2005, the tag team division wasn't near as profitable as it was, as it is now. In my opinion, you can do it. You just have to do it right. I just think we're a long way away from seeing that happen. But I do open up this radio show as an open forum for you to tell me what you think of teams like the Shields and the Wyatts. There you see the graphic of the Shield on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/JonathanClark22, and I invite you to tell me what you think of the direction of the tag team division, and if the Shield still have a prominent future. I see that prominent future coming at the expense of them disbanding and being singles competitors. That's how I see them getting that probability back.